Hi there, thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Rebecca if you're coming across me for the first time. And I know it's been a long time since I brought my last video, but I'm here yet again and I know you're gonna enjoy so much from this channel than even before. Those of you who are tuning in from Facebook and my TikTok account, you're welcome in a very special way. As I've been saying all along that I'm going to be giving you reasons. I'm going to tell you why I had to quit my 9-to-5 job. Not necessarily that I was working in the morning only. No, I was working shifts, sometimes in the morning, sometimes afternoon, sometimes evening, and sometimes overnight. Because I used to go for stock takes, which were overnight. And I came up with a whole lot of reasons why I felt like that's not the kind of life I want to live anymore. And these reasons, while I air them out, might be ones that will help you relate with what you are going through as your own self and then make a decision based on what exactly you want for your life. Disclaimer, this video is not to get you off your job. This video is just to give you an enlightenment of what is going on in your own life, relating with what I am going to tell you about my own, so that you can decide if you love the job that you're doing, if you feel good about yourself doing that job and you really feel like, okay, yeah, this is a thing for you to do, it's all right. But if you're a kind of person that feels tired of the job that you're doing, you feel overloaded, you feel overwhelmed, you might use this video to help you figure out what to do next and how to go about it. So this is my story. I'm going to tell you right from my experience. When I came from Uganda, I was working on a TV station. I was a TV presenter and a producer and an editor at the same time. Something that I really loved to do because it's kind of natural. It brings out the sense of creation in me, and I love relating with people. So that was the best part of what I did in my life. And when I came to Dubai, as we all know, when you come into a new country, you want to make things work, you want to make ends meet. So I tried to look for a place I could act from or maybe work on TV, and it wasn't an easy journey. So I decided to just let go of that for a meantime, and I began looking for these other jobs. My first job, I think I told you this before in my earlier videos. If you missed them, you can just look out for them. And I told you that I was a cleaner. When I came here, the first job I did was a cleaning job. And then from there, I went into office. In the office, I was an office assistant, more of first experience of working in an office. I enjoyed it because I was like working in the morning, leaving in the evening, and it was like a new experience for me until the company shut down and I had to look for another job. And that's when I've met a friend of mine who told me, like, Rebecca, you don't have to look for small jobs because you might not be wired for small things. Just look out for bigger jobs, look out for bigger offices to work for. Still working for someone else, I was like, okay, let me give it a shot. So I looked out for a job and I got a very good job. It was a very good paying job. I was still working from 8 to 5 p.m. and I was working in downtown Dubai. It was amazing. It was beautiful. Salary was good. I was like, yeah, this is good life. And until I continued doing it, at one point, I still felt like, even with a good salary and a good place of work, I still felt like I felt like I can do something more. I felt like I can be more productive. And I began to look out for something new. And also what happened, and I had to let go of that job as well. And I went into a hotel, one of my best experiences, because I worked in Waldorf Astoria Hotel. It is amazing there. I loved working there. Wonderful community, wonderful place. But the problem is my whole life was taken into that. Being a hotelier, if you're working in a hotel, I know you can second to this, that you don't have life. Basically, you more of go to sleep, go to work, serve other people, make other people's lives much better, which is something very nice. But then I was like, what about my own life? And around that same time, I had newly gotten married and I didn't even have enough time to see my husband. So I was like, okay, no, I'm not going to do this. So when I left, kind of took some time looking for a job. I think it took me about 2 months or 1.5 months. And I landed a job in H&M. So I went into H&M, a big brand, prominent brand, very lovely, wonderful environment. I loved the people that I was working with. And that is where I had to make a decision. My life got busier. When I went into H&M, I was still a newlywed, and I gave birth to my first child, and it was kind of, yeah, I can manage, I can juggle up, I can do it. But then as time went on, the love for what I really want to do kept on coming back. It kept on pulling me back. And when I tried to do what I love to do, the time was not enough. Because imagine coming from a shift, you are a wife, you are a mother. There's no way I was going to grow my own career, the one that I really want to do while doing that. So in all that is when where I had to sit down and figure out where I am, where I want to go, and then take action. So these are some of the reasons I'll give you why I had to quit that job of 9 to 5, calling it 9 to 5, not because it's morning, as I said in the morning, as I said earlier, it can be any other shift. As long as you go report to someone and work for somebody, that is what I refer to 9 to 5 job. The first was my freedom. I used to work, and for all the time that I've been working for somebody else on their own specific time as they allot to me, I did not have freedom even to do things the way I wanted to do them. I'm a very innovative person, and many a times when I try to get off the routine just to see how things will turn out, like I try out new things. But when you work in a specific kind of, bracket job, they have to tell you when to do what and how to do it. That is the number one reason why I had to quit. And when we got to the next one, I was done trading my time for money. Guys, as we all know, as we all agree, time is one of the most precious, most valuable asset everyone has. When time is lost, it doesn't come back. So I was looking at myself, and then I used to get my phone and begin calculating, like, okay, I work 8 hours, I earn this amount of money per month. How much do I work for an hour? Is this really I can earn in my whole life? Can't I earn much more than this within this hour? So that question kept on rhyming in my mind. I was like, okay, now I'm trading my time for money, and then how much money am I trading my time for? And the money was too much less for me to settle with and give away my time. So that was another reason why. Talk about job security. We know what happened in 2020. Companies had to lay off staff. I thank God I was also working in an environment where many people were laid off, and I stayed. They didn't lay me off. But I can imagine people who lost their jobs during that time. So job security is such an important thing that you don't know when it's going to be convenient for your employer to let you go. Because sometimes they're not just bad people. They've tried, and money is not coming in as it should. So keeping you around will be like crashing the business financially. So if they have to make a decision if someone has to leave, what if it's going to be you? So that is one reason why I left. I was like, okay, I've survived the 2020 crisis, but I don't know what's going to happen the next time. So I have to get myself secured, and I cannot have a job security when I'm working for somebody else. So I had to let go. And when we go to the next one, my job was stressing in a way that I used to get stressed from the time I wake up, because sometimes duty called, sometimes responsibility was a lot, and maybe you had to come to work in the evening, and then the next day in the morning you had to come, like maybe in the morning or afternoon. Yes, these things happen. You work, we call it a continued shift. You might work in the night and then in the evening, and then maybe you leave work around 1 a.m. and the next day you are morning 8 a.m. And imagine you have a family, you have children who don't know your shift, and I had to just try to make it work. It was so stressful, guys. I could just go to the car lift, and maybe I even lose where the car lift is going to be parking for me, and maybe the car lift is also left, or things used to happen, and the stress was too much. By the time I got to work, my life had already been shattered, and I had to deliver. I believe that I'm a millionaire in making. I always believed that. And the fact is, working a job, working for someone else was never going to make me a millionaire, because they are also looking for money. They're looking to become millionaires. And that's why they know they don't have like enough time to do all the things for themselves. So they get to hire other people to come and help them. So putting myself in that kind of position, I was the one who was hired to make my boss a millionaire. And when I could think about it, how am I going to make my first $1 million? How am I going to do it? And there's no way I was going to achieve that while working for someone else. So that's just one other reason why I had to quit. My 9 to 5 job never gave me an opportunity to go beyond, to do much more. At one point, I really, really wanted to do so much more, but I couldn't, because doing more meant stepping in my manager's boundaries, which sometimes could cause unnecessary chaos. So I had to compose myself and keep in my position and not even go an extra mile. Like, for example, maybe a customer gets upset. There's this kind of personality I have that can calm down people, that can manage. I can manage people like in a way that I can relate and then get the conversation going and then get to the bottom of the issue and then we solve it together and then make sure the person is happier and in the end. So I was that kind of person. But then because I wasn't a manager, when something like that occurred, I just had to say, ma'am, please just hold on, or sir, please just hold on. Let me just go get my manager. And I feel like kind of, tied up. I would have solved that simple, quick, and it goes. But I'm not allowed to. So I felt like I was being limited and I didn't want to go on like that. Let's talk about flexibility. When you are working for your own self, you know that you can work from anywhere. You can choose to work from the park. You can choose to work from home. You can choose to work from your bedroom, your sitting room, or anywhere else. So that kind of freedom, that kind of flexibility kind of makes you more productive. As we all know, the time it takes you to prepare yourself to go to work, that time is lost. The time on the way, on the road is lost. The time to settle in and, get your brains together to start working is lost. So when you're working for your own self, you can just wake up with your hairnet on and you just sit and relax and focus and then get things done. So that's something I was longing for, and I got it when I began to work for my own self, when I began to build my own empire. And it's one of the reasons why I had to leave the 9 to 5 job. And now going to boredom. Do you know doing same thing over and over and over again is really, really boring and exhausting? Like, me, I was in sales. So I would know when I come from home, I go to my work, I open up my cash till if I was going to work on cash, and I would just stand there literally the whole day, just working on the till, cleaning up my area. At some point, I used to get out and just go do something else because I felt like, no, this is going to be too much like in one place. So the boredom of doing the same thing over and over again killed me. Like, it was too much until I was like, no, it killed my love to continue doing the same thing, until I had to say, no, I have to get out of here and then do something else that will make me, try out new things and try out being productive in so many different ways. If you're listening to me on a podcast, or you are watching me on YouTube, or maybe you've come across my video somewhere else, I want to leave a question. How would it be when you finish working for this company for 20 years, 30 years, maybe 10, maybe even 5, and in the end, you get replaced? Sometimes you even have to train your own replacement. How much more, how much better would it be for you to build your own empire? That even when you feel like I'm done, you want to retire, you choose someone who is going to keep the legacy going. Would you rather toil so much to make another person's dream come true than work for your own dream? That's the question I leave behind.